A lot of time I hear so many people talk about growth mindset, and there is a misunderstanding. They don't really understand what they want and what they need to get to that point of having a growth mindset. They believe that with a growth mindset, that means you are naturally talented. You were born with some kind of gift that can make you become special in the society, but that is not true. With a growth mindset, it simply means that you believe in your abilities, you believe in making a change in your community, and that you could become the best in everything that you embark on. And there is this powerful thing that people don't understand about a growth mindset. Once you have that growth mindset, you are able to enter in rooms where people could never imagine you standing there. You are able to make changes. You support innovation. You believe in impossibilities. But when you have a fixed mindset, there is this fear. It threatens you. It makes you feel like you were not born for something. And that is one of the things that has made so many people to move towards a trajectory or a path which is not theirs, because they feel threatened, they make mistakes, and it is because of that fixed mindset. In today's video, I want to walk you through that path, a path that could make you become more proficient in what you do, a path that could make you understand what a fixed mindset can do to you and what a growth mindset is all about. So let's get into this episode. And before we do that, I need you to understand this. Nobody is born with a growth mindset. Nobody is born with a fixed mindset. You just need to build it on yourself. You just need to practice it, because they say that necessity is the mother of invention. I say that repetition is the mother of developing skills, or it is the father of developing skills. And what this means to me is, if you practice over and over, and if you keep on doing the work, you are going to see the changes, no matter how you were born, no matter where you came from. When you listen or you read the great people that we have in today's world, the innovators, you realize that they didn't come from a place of abundance. They came from a place of growth mindset. They believe in the impossibilities. They were so motivated and driven towards things that people could not have imagined happening. And that is what I want you to do. When it comes to leadership, this becomes very different. In leadership, you have to believe that where we are heading to is the right path. Where we are moving to, there are no mistakes. That is a growth mindset. Let's get into this. A growth mindset is the belief that abilities, intelligence, strength, skills can be developed through dedication, effort, and learning, which means that if you can dedicate some time towards a path, you will become the best version of that path. There are so many people who have this talent, but they cannot be consistent in that path. And consistency always beats talent. You need to move out from certain circles if you want to achieve something. If you want to become a great innovator, you need to understand that there are certain paths that you cannot work towards. You have to keep on learning. If you want to be a writer, you want to be a speaker, you have to dedicate time to practice, to learn those skills. And once you have been able to put that time, to put that effort, to dedicate every other thing aside, then that is a growth mindset. And I will differentiate it in a very better way. When you have a fixed mindset, you run away from your challenges. You avoid them. You say, no, I don't want to go through the stress. But the reality is, you might not face the pain today, but in the nearest future, you're going to experience it. You are threatened by people's success. You see people succeeding out there. Instead of you walking up to them and asking, how do you do this? How can I get to this level? You are threatened by their success. You see failure as an excuse, which is something that I don't believe in. I believe that failure is a way for you to get feedback. You need to accept feedback. Once you are able to accept that feedback, you use it as a strategy. I think that is why when you see the most driven leaders in our world today, is because they have this ability to accept feedback, because that feedback doesn't just give you your strength and your inner abilities. It also shows you the way forward, what to avoid and what not to avoid. And that is a fixed mindset people do. They avoid it, they avoid feedback. But when it comes to a growth mindset, they are motivated by other people's success. They don't run away from their challenges, rather they face them. And when you're able to face your challenges, that is where the growth begins. That is what makes the difference. They seek for feedback. You seek feedback from your friends, your co-workers. You see that you are moving towards a path that is leading you towards your goal. I need you to understand this. In order for you to succeed towards the path of a growth mindset, you need to have a system in place. When I say a system, I mean that you have to put in strategies that will keep you consistent towards achieving that goal. And in order for you to build a growth mindset that compounds in a very long time, you need to be consistent. It is a never-ending journey. You have to be very consistent in it. It doesn't matter how comfortable you are. It doesn't matter the level of education you have attained. This is a never-ending journey. Education is forever, and as a leader, you have to consistently practice it. The next thing that you have to do is adapt. Adaptability is your key concept as a leader, because there are going to be a lot of changes. There are things that are changing. You can see how the world is changing in your community, in your team, in your work, and in the society and the world at large. So many things are changing, so you have to adapt to those things as well. The next thing which I believe that is very important for you as a leader is experiment as much as possible. You have to try different things, try new things, right? And see what works, what doesn't work. You have to support innovation, right? Try to see how you can bring up new ideas, innovate, bring things that have never existed before. That is how it works in leadership. And you need to seek feedback, right? You need to seek feedback in life, in work, and in your outcomes. Everything that you do is important that you seek feedback, because in this journey of life as a leader, what determines if you're going to stay or if you're going to be stagnant or you're going to continue or you're going to evolve as a leader is the decisions that you make today, is the mindset that you build. That is going to determine if you're going to evolve as a leader or you're going to be stagnant in this learning journey or in life. And it has occurred to me that so many people don't really get to notice it until they are in that journey, until they are in that path, until they are in the way of breaking towards the direction that they have always wanted to do. So, if you want to become a leader, if you want to experiment, if you want to have a growth mindset, you need to set towards a journey. Because if you stay in your comfort zone, it will be very difficult for you to move out of there. Why? Because it feels safer, it feels comfortable. You keep on procrastinating. And what is procrastination? The avoidance of the discomforts that comes at the moment. But in the long run, they are going to be there. It feels good to just sit on the couch for 8 hours, watching your TV and sleeping and eating. It feels horrible going to the gym early in the morning and trying to build yourself, make your system become more comfortable. But you have to choose a path. Is it going to be easier for you in the long term, or it is going to be unsafer for you? Of course, sitting in the couch for 8 hours feels comfortable now, but you pay in the future. And going out there to the gym is very uncomfortable now, but the benefits are waiting for you. So you have to choose a path. You have to choose a path that makes you become a greater version of who you are in your abilities, in how you learn, in how you succeed, and how you make a change in other people's life. That is a growth mindset. And that, my friend, is what I have for you today. So if anything I've shared with you resonated, if it sparked a thought, a question, or even just a feeling, then do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. And my promise to you alongside with my team is to consistently bring you real, honest, and valuable content that helps you figure out budget management, leadership, one conversation at a time. Thank you for being here. Cheers.